I remember, ladies and gentlemen, take your time, be patient. Let's continue to keep on building it. Got this. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, take your time, be patient. Let's continue to keep on building it. Got this. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, so today I want to cover a few things. I already covered it. Today, when I break it down in details, add a little bit more details on this PDF. So hopefully you guys find this PDF very informative, and then we'll go back and we'll be able to look at a few other things, ladies and gentlemen. So please take your time, be patient with me. Let's rock and roll. Let's get to it. If you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. I will reply. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Let's talk about the market in the Mag 7 on how we can utilize it and how it can actually be beneficial to us as we move forward as traders and also as investors. So when looking at the Mag 7, we're going to give a best of all reference. So Microsoft is Jokic, very versatile, very effective, produces in many environments. It doesn't really even matter. Hardware, software, it doesn't really even matter. Now, we got Tesla, which is very important as well. Tesla is Anthony Ellis, very explosive, electric, can shift momentum instantly. Just like today, Tesla pretty much went up $30. We was able to get 10,000% contracts. So we was able to utilize that. Now, next thing is very important. We got Apple, we got SGA, right? When I'm looking at SGA, he's very smooth, very reliable, a brand you can trust every time. So Apple is one of those things that we was able to trust today. Very, very informative to be able to look at Apple and being able to take full advantage of his movement. It's something you can trust. Now, Meta is very important. As Victor Wembanyama is the future, is the present. So I try to explain to people, we understand that Victor Wembanyama is the future of the NBA on a global scale. He's very powerful, very elite and lethal, unlimited potential, still evolving, still in this scary high. So Meta was able to actually skyrocket today as well. So pretty much another 1,000% trade when it comes to that. All right. Next thing is Google, Pablo Miquel, right? So pretty much strong, hard to stop. It's hard to stop Google, the search engine. Very powerful. They enter the hardware business as well when it comes to cell phones and things like that. So you understand, you know what's coming, right? So you know every morning that you wake up, people's going to search on Google, so you know what's coming. So we got NVIDIA. This is important. I think a lot of people fail to realize what's important when it comes to NVIDIA is very important. All right, so NVIDIA is pretty much Luka Doncic, right? All right, so Luka Doncic, right, when it comes to NVIDIA, is elite, unstoppable, it controls the game. So when I look in NVIDIA, when it comes to chips and environment, nobody can actually stop them. So when it comes to NVIDIA, nobody can stop Luka Doncic. He's going to put up his points regardless. Now, when it comes to other things, defense and things like that, is always questions involved with that. But when it comes to straight dominance, NVIDIA and Luka is one of those things we need to pay close attention. Now, Amazon is important. I give it two players. We got LeBron James and Stephen Curry. Is the past, it's the present, is going to be the future. Amazon pretty much went from online to brick and mortar, which was a smart decision. Being able to control the online community and then being able to control brick and mortar with stores, them buying up multiple brands under their umbrella to be able to take full advantage of buyers, spenders' habits. So when you think things like Whole Foods, we understand that Amazon holds that. They got their own grocery stores and things like that. So we're going to continue to keep on evolving and growing. So this is what it's about. So when I'm trading Mag 7, why does it matter when we're trading an option? It controls the market. We got Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, Google, Tesla. These stocks make up a huge percentage of SPY QQQ. So when these stocks are rolling, SPY QQQ is going to be rolling as well. So when they move, the entire market moves. So we understand that we need to get in front of the train or we need to jump on the train. No matter if we get on the train late, we want to just ride the train in that direction. So we want to follow the trend. So when the video runs, QQQ pumps like today, calls print everywhere. Apple drops, SPY weakens, puts start to pay as well. But today Apple went up, NVIDIA went up. So we pretty much had a power train this morning. So the trend was pretty phenomenal. If you trade options and ignore them, you're blind to the direction. Like I gave this out to you guys when me and John had a meeting, but I want to be able to introduce you guys to this again because I added a little bit more flair to it so you guys can understand what's at stake so we can take full advantage on what's going on in the moment. All right. Next on the list, I want to talk about liquidity, easy money flow, right? So if there's no liquidity within a stock, there's no volume in the stock, there's no open interest when it comes to trading options and things like that, we won't be able to trade. But when liquidity is high, especially in Mag 7, it's tighter spread. So when you guys look at the option chain, you see the bid, you see the axe is something in between that's called a spread. So if the bid is $3, and the axe, let's say the axe is $3 and the bid is $2.95, that's a $5 spread. So you want something a little bit more close knit. So when you're trading options, you want a $1 to $3 spread, especially when you're trading ETF like QQQ, SPY, IWM, and things like that. So that's why it's very important. All right. So that's why I like it. ETFs is very important. All right. So heavy institution activity, that's what we're looking forward to. This means cleaner entry, faster fill, better exits. Like today, we was able to actually smack the market. It's a proven effect. I've been doing this for a long time. I want to continue to keep on building and giving people quality information so people could take full advantage of this comparison. Now, compare that to low volume stocks, it's slippage, wider spreads, slow reaction. A lot of people get into contracts and the spread is just too wide. So if you get into a contract, the axe is $4. Let's say the axe is $8 and the bid is $3. If you enter into that trade, you automatically lose hundreds of dollars by getting into that trade, right? So you want to be able to do a limit order. All right, next thing, they move, right? Volatility moves the market. The more volatile a stock is, like Tesla, the more expensive it's going to be. That's why we had those zero DTEs in those Friday contracts today. That's why they was able to explode and expand because the volatility increased. Everybody wanted to come in and get a piece of the pie. That's why it's very important. All right. Now, when we option trading needs movement, right? So if it's strong trend, big intraday moves like today, Meta. We had big trends on Apple. We was able to get 1,000% on those as well. We was a plus Tesla. We was able to get GS. We was able to get some swings on QS. Verizon went to the downside, but to the upside today, everything was pretty much cooking to the upside. So it's perfect for new driven volatility. Zero DTE, scalps to swing, it all works. It doesn't really even matter. The Mag 7 pays pretty well. Microsoft, and I want you guys to understand this. I know you guys don't understand what Microsoft really means to the world, but Microsoft is very big. It's a gigantic company, worth over $3 trillion plus. And we're going to continue to keep on understanding that we need to buy it long term. We need to do longer swings on it, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years out. It gives you an opportunity to take full advantage of days like this when we increase by 15, 16, 17, 18 points in these contracts are pretty much going to money. You can make 300%, 80%, especially if you put up 80,000, 40,000, $20,000 on the trade, you'll be able to make somebody's salary within a couple of hours. Now, institutions trade them heavy. This is what a hedge fund market makers, big monies are placing orders, right? So option flow is clean and it's clear. So levels respect more on the Mag 7s and moves have follow through. So pretty much we're looking at resistance, we're looking at support, the 20-day, the 50-day, the 200-day moving average, the 400-day moving average, the 505-day moving average. All these moving average acts as magnets to the upside. All these moving average act as magnet to the downside. And then you could throw it in a few other little things that actually help you. You could throw in a VWAP. VWAP if we're above or we're below. So when we're trading the Mag 7, we want to be able to have the tools to take full advantage of the tools in the moment. All right. So I do have an indicator that I've been working on. I'm gonna give it out to my mentorship group. Hopefully they can take full advantage of that and have them actually work with over the next couple of weeks. See if it's very beneficial to them. In this indicator, I'm gonna show you guys with the halves on it so you guys can take full advantage of it moving forward. All right, now Mag 7 cheat sheet. I think everybody's inside my group. If I gave this out, you should print this out. My whole thing is you have to have some ink. It's very colorful, but if you guys need me to actually change to black and white, I can do so. So it works just like this. It controls the market. It actually spikes SPY and QQQ to the upside, or we can get a decline to QQQ and SPY to the downside. So tighter spread, faster field, liquidity, easy money moves in and out. So that's what we're looking forward to. Institution like to trade this heavy. This is where the big money is at. So bottom line, Mag 7 equals direction, liquidity, and opportunities, right? We all look for opportunity like today. And today is going to come again, right? We're going to have another day where we have a bigger move. We're going to have another day where we have the same exact move. We just got to be prepared. We have to have the capital and the mindset. You have to have that mind frame to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to take 10 contracts I'm gonna take 100 contracts and I'm gonna go ahead and let them cook. I'm gonna put me a trail stop loss in. On days like this, trail stop loss works way better than limit orders because it would just follow your profit and you would have never got kicked out of a trade. I'll show you guys how that looks on a Renko candlestick today, and hopefully you guys take full advantage of it. Now, option flow. When it's bullish, the Mag 7 is pushing. So we got call, we got buying strength, we got spot breakout with volume. So we understand what's happening, where the money is pegged, that we might have $1 billion in orders to a certain Pacific strike level. So GEX and things like that would actually determine that. Mag 7 all green, we understand that we have a bullish market. If Mag 7 is all red, we understand we have a bearish market. If it's in between, we got to understand which one is stronger, which one is moving the market. So we understand that NVIDIA is bullish, and Apple is bullish, and Tesla is bullish. 9 times out of 10, the market is pretty much in a bullish uptrend for the day or probably for the week. So we're looking for clean entries. We're looking for follow through. So pretty much let runners run. All right, now top option volume last 6 months. I try to explain to people who want to look at tiers when it comes to actually trading option. Tiers are very important to me. So we got tier 1 heavy volume. These are kings, right? We got SPY, we got QQQ. We understand those are major ETF. They trade these on a global scale. We also have Tesla, what a power broker, right? We understand that Tesla is the future, especially when they bring out humanoid robots that's going to be able to be compatible with every household in America and abroad. So pretty much be prepared for that. I could see Tesla hit $7 to $12 trillion in market cap over the next 10 years, 12 years. So just be prepared for that when it comes to long-term investment. NVIDIA, we understand that Tesla's going to need NVIDIA chips to be able to program their sophisticated robots to be able to do chores and daily duties. All right, Apple conglomerate. Apple is going to have to continue to keep on pushing forward. I think for Apple to survive as we move forward, they got to be very innovative. They got to get into the healthcare space, making healthcare pods and things like that. I think Apple can actually continue to keep on growing from there. Amazon, wow. On this list, I really like Amazon. It's very versatile. I still think Amazon can actually hit 6 trillion over the next 3 to 5 years. I think Amazon continue to keep on growing. It depends on what happens on the geopolitical level. If things actually slow down, I think Amazon can actually pick up. We understand they have competition, but at the end of the day, Amazon is a conglomerate on a global scale. We got Meta, phenomenal when it comes to hardware, software, when it comes to gaming and things like that. It's all very important. We understand that Microsoft is a beast, period, right? It's hardware, software. Microsoft is a beast. So Microsoft will continue to keep on evolving and growing. Now, tier 2. So tier 2 is very important, right? We got Amazon, not Amazon, we got AMD, we got Netflix, we got Quorum, Palantir, and Riot, Mara, BA, we have JPM, XOM. So when I'm looking at tier 2, I'm looking for strong flow and I'm looking for a solid opportunity, right? I understand if I hit tier 1 and I'm looking for tier 2, I'm looking for some swings. I'm looking to take full advantage of tier 2 AMD and moves. Netflix moved for us today, so that was an opportunity because we do have earnings tomorrow. So Netflix was pretty much an opportunity to trade. Palantir. Riot has been moving for a couple of days now since last week. So Riot was pretty much a high activity trade for us. And then we understand that Bourne moves when we have conflict, positive or a negative conflict. It doesn't really matter. Bourne can move to the upside or to the downside. Now, tier 3, these are where we catch our marlins, right? This is where we catch our mahis. This is where we catch our tunas, right? So these are in uncharted waters. But these are momentum and retail flow, right? So these retail traders come in and say, you know what? We see an opportunity. I want to be able to put money. It's fast moving, but less consistent, right? So we pretty much traded Snap. We pretty much got almost 1,000% plus on Snap. So that was a perfect opportunity. And SoFi always remind me of a client. She always talk about SoFi over the last couple of years, the year or two since she's been with me. Lucid Page, Rivian Page, Neo Play, DraftKings, but I do like Ford. I do like AT&T. AT&T was a banger from yesterday as well. I was explaining to a client AT&T pays where you can catch it in a straight uptrend or a straight downtrend. I like to trade AT&T back to the upside because I want to be able to see that liquidity continue to keep on being added to AT&T, so I continue to keep on growing. Fire with KSS pays, QS paid today as well, and we also have BlackBerry. We just hit them for a couple 100% as well. So looking at tiers in the market, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you can trade all of these companies and you can be very successful. And as the year goes on, I will add to my tier 2s and I will add to my tier 3s. And then I might add to my tier one, right? It depends if Adobe want to perform pretty well, Oracle want to perform pretty well. I might be able to add to my tier ones. It depends on what the volume is looking like. So looking at the market, you want to break it down into tiers. You want to understand why are you trading these tiers? What separates the tiers? So we understand that tier one is high volume spikes, spreads is really tight. High activity tier two, strong flow, solid opportunity, and then tier three, cheaper contracts, fast movement but less consistent, right? So once you guys see profit, see green, you got to take green when it comes to tier three. And be honest with you, tier one, tier two, you got to take profit as well. All right, so let's talk about displacement and trading. I think a lot of people fail to realize what displacements mean. So remember, when displacement, institution aggression, right? So pretty much displacement is moving when big money forces price out. So pretty much they're hunting your stop losses. That's what displacement mean in ICT. They're hunting your stop losses. Pretty much when you guys are into puts and they reject and they go to the upside 50, 70 cent, kick you out of your trade, and then boom, continue to trend back to the downside, drop $2, $3 on SPY, IWM, and things like that. So that's just pretty much displacement in trading. It's liquidity taking, smart money choosing direction, right? So pretty much they call retail traders dumb money. Big boys on Wall Street, big girls on Wall Street, they call them smart money. So they're hunting your stop losses. So they're pretty much looking at algorithm. They're looking at an opportunity to be able to take from you, right? So they say, you know, when we see equilibrium in the market, we want to be able to take from the dumb money. And the dumb money don't understand they have to take profit off the table when a profit presents itself. So we don't, right? A lot of times retail traders say, hey, I got one contract, two contract, three contract, I got 10%. What's 10% of $1,000? They say, I need more than $100. And then guess what? Smart money said, whoop, you almost had it, right? So now you have to be very patient and you got to be selective, right? See green, take green. So ICT framework sequence, liquidity grabs, displacement candles, fair volume gaps, market structure shifts. So MSS, you're looking for all of these things, OTE, optimal entry, target entry. So you're just looking at an opportunity to be able to trade the market. So you want to do 322s when it comes to the strat world. So liquidity grabs at sell size. So when I'm looking at displacement, I'm looking to be able to see large bodies, break of structure, leaving in balance, and closing strong. So we can trade the market on multiple. We can trade the market from multiple angles, right? We just got to be a little bit placement. But understanding displacement, it only means the banks are putting you into a position they're hunting your stop losses, right? So when it comes to the strat, I just like to throw this out there because a lot of people like to integrate strat. In the world of a strat, three is liquidity sweep. So a three bar is an outside counter is taking out the highs and it's taking out the lows. That's just for the 3 years. Now, bullish three and the bearish three is a little bit different. A bullish three is pretty much taking out the low and then it's taking out the high, and then we have a continuation, and we got a two that actually forms after that. Now, a bearish three, we take out the high, we take out the low, we're looking for a two to actually continue to trend to the downside. A two is directional, displacement candle. A one is accumulation. So this is an inside counter. So we're looking to take trades above, but we're looking to trade trades below. So it's just opportunity. Some of my favorite setups is 3-2-2s and 1-2-2-2s. So we got reversals. Pretty much looking for sweeps of highs. We're looking for sweep of lows. Now, empowerment assets, we confirm our checklist. We want to look at liquidity. We want to look at strong two displacement, fair value gaps is created, and we're looking for breaker structure. All right. Now, I would tell you guys, this is a treat. I always like to share this with people. I like to give you guys an opportunity to be able to trade something different. So you have on extended hours. I like to trade on a 90-minute time frame execution. So we use a 830 org trading plan. You can use this for any ticker, right? It don't have to be Meg 7. It don't have to be tier 1. It don't have to be tier 2. It don't have to be tier 3. It can be implemented in any stock. So please take full advantage of it. So I'm gonna tell you how it works. So you're looking at the 8:30 a.m. pre-market. You're marking a high. This is just a range, right? We got lows, we got highs. Now using a 90-minute candlestick, you want to be able to mark the low and the high. You want to switch it to a 3-minute or 5-minute chart. You're taking a trade once the market open. We completely close above or below, and you're looking for your targets to the left. So previous day highs, previous week's high. You're looking to take full advantage of that opportunity, right? And it works like a charm, right? So pretty much you're marking the highs, you're marking the lows, and you missed the 8:30. You understand once the market opens, you're looking at the next candlestick will be 10 o'clock. You mark the high, you mark the low of the 10 o'clock, and you're looking to take the trade to previous high, previous low. If you missed the 10 o'clock, you're looking at the 11:30. You marking the high, you're marking the lows, you're looking to take that counter to looking to the left. And if you missed the 11:30, you're looking at the 1 a.m. candle, and at 2:30, and then the 4 o'clock candle. So the reason I say 4 o'clock candle, if I'm trading the ETF, SPY, QQQ, I still have 15 minutes to be able to trade those ETF into the after hour and also into the morning. And if I'm looking to actually scalp some news after the bill, I could take full advantage of. So this whole thing works is 8:30 marking a high, you're marking a low. You're getting confirmation on the 3 and a 5 minute time frame. You're looking to be able to take it once a complete counts, it close above or below. That's what it's all about, taking full advantage of that. You're looking for spikes, you're looking for full body counts to continue to trend to the upside or to the downside. All right. So as promised, I always like to give out global macro news, looking at Federal Reserve, looking at Treasury bond, auction bond, all of these things very important. Looking at the financial market, looking at Bloomberg, looking at Wall Street Journal, all of these things, CNBC. So you guys want to take full advantage of that. Now, I do have another personal treat, right? So these are things that I do. I think of. I got another one or two of them in the chamber that I'm releasing pretty soon, comparing it to golf and also comparing it to football. Greats. Understanding that we are fishing in the market, right? We are fishers, right? No matter if we're fishing in freshwater, no matter if we're fishing in salt water, but each way we fish, it requires different tools, right? And a different mentality, right? And skill set and also financial compensation and capital. So if I'm fishing in freshwater, this is day trader says option flow. I want you guys to understand this is all about accessibility, right? This is frequent action, right? We can do zero DTEs on the Mag 7s. We can do zero DTEs on tier 1, tier 2. But my whole thing is we'll understand what we are fishing for. So when we're trading SPY, QQQ, and the Mag 7, we are fishing for bass, right? We're looking like, hey, if I'm in a pond, if I'm in a river, all right, if I'm in a lake, I understand that it's bass, right? So bass is one of the most sought out fish in fresh water in the United States, right? They're everywhere. They're just like index options, right? They're just consistent setup. It's daily opportunities, right? So when you're fishing for bass and you have an account side, you can continue to keep on going in and out of the market because you can see green and take green. It gives you an opportunity to understand that I'm fishing for bass, right? It's your bread and butter, right? So you want to be able to trade this on a daily basis because you understand these are base hits. You understand if I'm fishing in fresh water, I don't need that much, but a fishing pole, some bait, maybe a little bit of time, and then I can actually take full advantage of that. So the next one is tournament bass, right? So we understand 8-1 setup when they're fishing in the tournament bass. We understand there's a lot out there. Now, I want to skip this one, grapes, but I want to go straight to catfish because everybody understand that the catfish is in ponds, it's in rivers, it's in lakes. You have an opportunity to catch catch. It's a slow grind, right? So understand when you get into the motion of trade in the market, it might be a slow grind, but you understand that there's catfish out there. So you sit and you wait, and then boom, it's like swing trading or patient plays, right? So you understand that you're fishing in fresh water for fish that you understand and fish that you grew up with. So now you are chasing this in the market and you have an opportunity to trade this on a daily basis. Trout is a technical setup. I want you guys to understand this requires skills and precision, right? It's like reading liquidity, fair value gaps, and OTEs. And you want to be able to understand, hey, I got the tools, but it requires me to have the skill set and the precision and the patience to be able to catch a trout, right? That's what it's all about. Wally's clean, profitable trade, not flashy, but high quality. Eat good trades equals consistent payout. So you want to understand that, hey, if I'm in fresh water, these are the fish that I'm looking for. So these are daily opportunities. Bass, catfish, and trout. I can catch these on a daily basis. Now, let's go to saltwater. I want you guys to understand that if you're fishing in saltwater, it's going to require more expensive fishing rods. It's going to require more expensive fishing gear, more expensive bait. You're going to have to rent a boat. You're going to have to go offshore, right? So you want to understand that salt water is a little bit different. It's going to require a little bit more patience. It's going to require a little bit more capital, right? So it's less frequent, but it's high impactful and bigger opportunities. So redfish, blue chip stocks, right? So we understand that redfish is blue chip stock, stuff like Coca-Cola and things like that. We understand that it's reliable, it's strong movers, right? We understand it's like Walmart, easy to catch. All right, then the giants, think Apple, think Microsoft setup and things like that. So you understand that, hey, I want a red fish. How can I get a red fish? I got to go into saltwater. I have to have my setup. I have to have my capital right, and I have to have my mindset right. Right. I have to have all of those in order for me to be able to take full advantage. Now, we want to go down to the tuna because this is important. A lot of us, we consume tuna, but we understand that tuna is an institutional move, right? Because tunas are very big. It's hard. You need a vessel to be able to go out there and catch a tuna. You need some shrimp. You need some good rods. You need a boat. You got to understand. You need nets. You understand that you need all of these things. So institutions have the power and the resources in order for you to be able to participate with the retailers, or in order for you to participate with the institution, it requires two different skill sets and two different tool sets. So to be able to compete with the institution when it comes to tuna is big money involved, right? So it's big money, it's heavy volume. So when you guys see stock that have heavy volume, you understand that the institutions are participating. So when it comes to the tuna, heavy volume, strong trend requires capital and conviction. If you don't have any capital and you don't have any conviction, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to catch a tuna. You can't catch a tuna in your backyard, right? You can't catch a tuna in your pond, but you can catch a tuna in salt water if you have the boat, the equipment. Now, mahi, these are fast scalp when you are out in salt water. Quick, exciting trades in and out, right? You say, you know what? I know we don't see mahi that much, but guess what? I'm in and out of this trade. Is in fresh, is in salt water. I want to take full advantage. Now, the big boy on the block is the marlin, right? This is life-changing trades. I tell people it was today. If you were to trade it $2,000 on, and you would have took 200 contracts on Tesla, you could have made $250,000 in one day. This is the marlin, and the marlin comes right 500%, 1,000%, 3,000%, 4,000%, 10,000%. Those marlin, it comes right, but it's rare, right? And it's an elite setup. It's an opportunity, but it's a risk that evolves right from time, right? You were willing to take that risk. It evolves over time. Now you don't see these that often, right? But when you do, size matter, right? So you say, you know what? I'm gonna do 100 contracts. I'm gonna do 30 contracts. I'm gonna do 15 contracts, right? I'm gonna do 300 contracts. I'm gonna do 1,000 contracts because I know this is life changing. I could buy a house. I could buy a car. I could pay off student loan debt. I could do all of these things if I cross my T's and I dot my I's. And this is how we do it when it comes to fishing and trading, right? These are all high probability setup when it comes to saltwater and freshwater. Now, the real lesson, this is the gym, right? Is a grind, right? And I think you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the setup. You got to continue to keep on pushing forward. Every day is not going to be a positive day in your personal life and your trading life, but you have to get up and tell yourself, I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to look at my setup and I'm going to see if this is a freshwater day. I'm going to see if this is a saltwater day. But if I want to consistently keep on taking these small bags, I understand that every day I can fish for bass, right? Now, you don't go offshore every day, right? I want you guys to understand that you don't go heavy every day, right? You don't chase big trades every day, right? You want to be able to continue to keep on hitting base hit. 100 here, 300 here, 1,000 here, 400 here, 50 here, 60 here, 70 here. Those compound and it adds up and it makes you build up more confidence. And now you can actually assess your skill set. You know, am I getting better? What do I need to improve? Why did I lose? Why did I win this trade? You don't expect the marlin in the pond. I'm gonna tell you guys that you don't expect the marlin in the pond, right? So you can't go out in your backyard and expect to catch a marlin, right? You don't go in your backyard and expect to catch a tuna or a mahi. But you can go in your backyard. You can expect to catch a bass. You can catch a catfish, a trout, and things like that. Now, match your strategy to your environment, right? So my whole thing is, what is your environment? Are you a stressful trader? Or are you a less stressful trader? If you're a very stressful trader, you need to understand, hey, I need to calm it down. Maybe I need to be a swing trader. If I'm very calm, maybe I could be a scalper, right? So all of these things play hand in hand. Most money is made catching bass. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Most money is made catching bass. If you guys are part of my community, they will tell you, they will put it in the chat. We are fishing daily. Telling you, when it comes to scalping, we could drop it down to the 5-second, 15, 30-second time frame. We in and out with 10%. We was able to do that today towards the end of the bill. We was able to hit them across the head on the opportunity on the trade. So that made sense to us, right? Now, most money is made catching bass consistently, not catching trophies, right? I think a lot of people, they go in the market every day, they think it's going to be the same. No, it's not going to be the same every day. You're not going to always get 1,000% trades. I know ladies and gentlemen online is telling you guys you can do 1,000% of trades every day. Right. You can do that, right? But there's a downside to that. Are you trading both ways? Are you trading puts? Are you trading calls simultaneously? Or what are you doing? Right. So my whole thing is you want to be consistent as a new trader and you want to be consistent as a trader that's been doing it for a while, because it shows consistency so that you know what you are doing. Right now, new traders feel they're hunting for marlins, right, and freshwater gear. Right, so you're gonna feel if you're looking for the marlin, right, but you're supposed to be fishing for bass. You can't take a regular fishing pole to open sea, right? You need something that's affordable, more sturdy. You need something that's stronger. You need something that's capable of catching a fish, right? Are you capable of fishing for a marlin, right? Are you capable of putting $5,000, $10,000 on a trail? Are you capable of dealing with a drawdown, right? All of these things matter as a trader, right? When it trades, right? Know what your targets are, match your strategy to your condition, and stack small wins until the big ones come, right? Stack small wins until the big one come, right? So this is the disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen. This is educational purposes, entertainment purposes only. Remember, this is not financial advice. Trade at your own risk. Understand that this information can be very valuable. You got to take the information, you got to utilize the information in the best way possible. You guys have any questions on any of this content before we go to the charts? We're going to break down how the Meg 7 work today. And we're going to look at some tier ones, tier twos, and tier three trades that we could have took, and trades that we did take today. Everything that we took today, ladies and gentlemen, went over 1,000%, right? Everything that we took from the Meg 7, pretty much everything went over 1,000%. We had a fabulous day in the market. So drop a world emoji if you guys are listening on the live. Drop a world emoji if you guys are listening on the live. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Going once, going twice. Let's get to the charts. All right. So charts is very important. These are technical. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Technical information is very important, right? Technical information is very important. All right. So what I did, I set up my Meg 7 today. I've set it up, made sure that we had everything, and we went forward. All right. Now, when I'm talking about the indicator, ladies and gentlemen, I label the SPX 0DT scalps. I wanted everybody to have an opportunity to understand what it stands for, how we can take full advantage of it. So what it does, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the daily bias of a stock, right? So let's say we type in SPX, it gives me the daily bias automatically. Like I said it lets me know if the VWAP is below or above. It let me know if the 15-minute is bullish, the 90-minute is bullish, the 6-hour bias, and the daily bias. And also let me know if the MACD is flat. It lets me know if the squeeze is fire squeeze, or let me know if it's release. It lets me know if volume spike, and it lets me know what the RSI is, and it lets me know if the session is open or closed. It lets me know if the 0DTs are worth it, yes or no, and it let me know it. And it let me know the bull score, right? It lets me know it's 3 out of 5. If we put it on the 6-hour time frame, it'll let me know that the bull score is 4 out of 5. So it lets me know there's no bearish trades today on SPX. It was no bearish trades at all, right? So it lets me know all of these things in real time. It updates me, update me. It's continue to keep on coming in, right? And then also give me targets, it give me levels and things like that. So let's get it. First thing on the docket today, let's do Apple. So remember I told you guys we can actually trade multiple things. So we'll say let's do the 90-minute 8:30 orb, so we can have an opportunity to be able to look at the market, so we can take full advantage of that. So 8:30 orb is here. Pretty much what we want to do, we're going to mark the low. All right. And then we're going to mark the high. We're going to mark the high. We're going to mark it blue. We're going to mark the low. We're going to turn it, the low, keep it red. We're going to switch it to a 3-minute or 5-minute time frame. Put it in the chat. Which time frame you guys want to look on, the 3-minute or 5-minute? I know you guys are very inquisitive about the market, and then automatically pops up and let me know what my targets are, let me know what strike price I need to do. All of this is built into the indicator that I created, and I'm gonna be giving it out to the mentorship. So we'll do the 5-minute time frame. All right. So it lets me know once we break above, we have an opportunity to trade the market. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. All right. We're going to zoom in. All right. All right. So pretty much. Y'all ready to rock and roll? Let me know if y'all ready to rock and roll. All right. So we'll go back to the 90 minutes so you guys can see it. We'll go back to the 90-minute again. You guys can have an opportunity on how we could trade this. 90 minutes. 90-minute. All right. What I'm going to do here. Market. So go all the way over. 90-minute is here. So it's 8:30. Call entry. All right. Got it. Got it. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. All right, 5 minute time frame. All right, here we go. We had an entry here at 10:45. Once we came above 260, we took the 260, 265, 263, went up here into it 266.56. So that was just an 830 order. We was able to take full advantage of that. That was just an opportunity. Now, what I want to do is now I want to turn on my indicator, right? So you guys can see. Once the indicator is turned on, it gave me all of my targets, entry stops, and as it continued to keep on trigger, it lets me know on a 5 minute time frame, it was 5 out of 5. 90 minute time frame lets me know it was 4 out of 5, 0 TTE. We could have took those. RSI 79.4, fireball squeeze. So they're squeezing it, they're squeezing it, they're squeezing it. They continue to keep on pushing it. Above the VWAP, which we was bullish 15, bullish 90, bullish on the 6 hour, and bullish on the daily. All right. So that was pretty a phenomenal trade, right? All right. Now that's one of the Mag 7s. Now we're gonna do Tesla, another Mag 7, right? We can do 90 minute orb, right? These went over 10,000%. So we do the 90 minute, we understand that we got the 830. All right, we're gonna mark the high, and then we're gonna spare ourselves. All right, and we're gonna mark the low as well. We're gonna change the low candlestick. Let's change it to yellow. And then what I want to do is I want to highlight this area, all right, because it is bullish consolidation, right? I don't understand if people explain that to you. We have bullish, we have bearish consolidation. So that means if it's bullish consolidation, we trade this out of the range, but it's going up, right? Bearish consolidation, we could be trading this out of range, but we could be going down, right? So we marked it up 90 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame. We understand what's happened. We completely came out from the bill 1010. We had an opportunity to trade this ticket completely to the upside. We exploded from 371 all the way to 394. So pretty much, so we got 81.91. We pretty much got 23, 24, 25 point move. I told we was going to get a 10 point move, but we exceeded that and these contracts exploded. Now, I will tell you guys this, if you guys don't want to use the 90 minute orb, you guys can actually switch it. You guys can use a 15 minute pre-market orb. That means you guys have an opportunity. You could have took this again from the bill as well. So now 15, we're marking yellow. We switch to the 5 minute time frame. So we came out from the bill, a complete push to the upside from 368. We had an opportunity to trade this completely all the way up to 390. Right now, as promised, I try to explain to people. I try to give something new and something different. We'll go back, we'll delete everything. I'm gonna show you guys a little gem. I want you guys to take full advantage of this. Share it live with family, friends, and loved ones. Once again, we're gonna mark the high of the low of the 830. All right, so we're gonna mark the high, it's gonna be yellow. We're gonna mark the low, we're gonna change that red. And then we're gonna switch it to a 5 minute time frame after we label entry. Show you guys how you can stay in this trade. All right, Tesla. All right, let's go. Call entry. All right, Tesla got an ATR, ladies and gentlemen, is $15.16. So that's an ATR. You split that in half. So half of 15 will be 7.5, so 7.80. Split that in half. So we'll use $3 as our cube. So we're gonna got our entry, switch to the 5 minute. We're gonna change our candles, and we're gonna use each block as a $3 block. All right. These are called Ringo. All right, and it's gonna tell me when we get out of the trade. Call entry. When did it tell us to get out of Tesla trade today? It never told us to get out of trade. Everything is completely bullish because it's working off of price, right? Not emotion, just strictly price. This is how we are able to execute. I've been doing this for years, Rico 5, 6 years now. I try to explain to people behind the scene, there's so many different moving pieces, then you're just giving call outs, right? I do just have a call out group. It's very it's very important to understand that the call out group is a Pacific price. It's very cheap. You can take full advantage of it, and you can make 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures. It depends on you as a trader, but this is just a tool. So once again, we marked our entry, 90-minute time frame. We switched to a 5 minute time frame, turned the Rinko on and told us, hey, we got it on a regular candlestick, switched to the Rinko. The Rinko never told us to get out of a trade. All right. We can rinse and repeat because we did get into some meta today. All right, once again, put meta on regular candlesticks. All right, and we'll switch to the 90-minute time frame. Once again, 830, we want to mark the high, we want to mark our low, and it's 830. We'll mark the high. All right, we'll make that yellow, switch to a 5 minute time frame. Once we got in that trade, it was up and away. And then Meta has an ATR of $20. So we split that in half. We can do Meta. Let's do 5 minute, $5, right? So we understand if it's a swing, it's $5. We took Meta for Friday contract. So we understand we could do $5, but we'll do $2.50. So we can make it a little bit more reasonable. So we have an opportunity. Let's do $2.50. So we know when we should get out of this, right? $2.50. If we do $5 block, we understand. All right. So $2.50. Once we got to this meta trade, we understand we should this is after the bell. So pretty much we had an opportunity to be able to ride this all the way up all day long. So we could have took profit before the market closed. So that was pretty awesome. So just looking at this, being able to utilize that is a tool in itself. So please, ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of the tools, right? Because the tools work for you. All right. So let's talk about another opportunity we had today on the Rinko, right? So we want to be able to look at Apple. Apple has a nice ATR. Apple has a nice ATR. We want to utilize it's $5, pretty much $6. So we split that up into four. So $1.50 on Apple. We want to be able to use our 90-minute orb. We already got our call entry 260, 5-minute time frame Rinko. We're gonna switch to Rinko, $1.50. All right, and we're gonna rock and roll. When should we got out of Apple entry? We should have stayed at Apple all day long. Apple ring. So this is pretty what beneficial to you. If you take full advantage of these trades ideas, you can utilize them and you can become successful as a trader, right? Now they say do it work for SPX, do it work for SPX? Yes, it does. All right, so give you guys an opportunity. SPX got an ATR of $94. We split that in half, it's $25. We split that in half, that's $12.50. $12.50 in half. We pretty much got $6.25, which we'll block mark. So when it comes to the 90-minute orb on SPX, we can't use the 90-minute orb, so I use a 6-hour orb on them. So I'm pretty much looking to be at a mark my level. So this is pretty much closed on Tuesday. I marked the half Tuesday, the low on Tuesday, and once we break in either direction, once the market opens on a 5-minute time frame, I have an opportunity to be able to trade the market. We open, we blast off at 940. We came back, we retraced. So let's say we got into this trade, and let's say $6.50. That will be a Rinko size block. All right, so let's get it $6.50. All right, so this will let me know if I should stay in the SPX trade or not. So let's look at it. So if I got into the SPX trade here, it pretty much came from the bell, ran up, came back down. We had a re-entry, went back up, went back down. Now, if I go here and I rearrange my blocks, right, and let's say I want to do that's $12.50. Let's say I want to do $15 on each block size when I get into this trade. If the block size doesn't change, I'm good to go. Right, even with the pullbacks in the market is based off of prices. The blockchain didn't change on a $15 price tag. I still had an opportunity, right, to be able to trade it. So we're pretty much 15, 15, 15, 15. We pretty much moved $60 today. So that was pretty much a banger, banger, banger. All right. Now, towards the end of the day, I did give out a opportunity. I want you guys to see this on a smaller time frame. So you guys how you can actually rinse and repeat. I try to get people to look at the market for what it is. And then as an opportunity presents itself, we want to take full advantage of that opportunity, right? So I told you guys we were trading Pepsi. So PEP, I told you guys we was taking 10% before the market closed. Show you guys how we trade Pepsi. I gave the trade ideal out. Let's see what time I gave the trade ideal out on Pepsi so I can make sure that you guys. All right, let's get it. Pepsi 160 call. I gave it out at 353. All right, so we can use the 30-second time frame on Pepsi. All right, so I seen a downtrend reversal. So pretty much we felt the resistance here. So let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Put it in the chat. Drop world emojis in the chat if you guys are ready to learn how to actually trade on a smaller time frame when it comes to second time frame. Put a world emoji in the chat. Let's get it. All right, let's get it. So what I noticed is we have resistance. All right, that's a key level resistance. So I understand that this is our resistance line. So what I like to do on a smaller time frame, understand that we got some support. So I understand we're trading inside of a range, right? So my whole thing is looking at the market for what it is, taking the 160, they're very affordable and they're reasonable contracts. So I'm looking at the setup. So in Strat War, we understand what 1, 2s, and 3s mean. We had an inside candle. I understand that we got a downtrend, and then now we got a downtrend reversal. I love to see 2, 1, 2s, especially the inside candle. I'm marking a high once we went above 154.52. Matches up with the time that I gave the trade out. We're taking the 160s, and we completely exploded before the day over with. We got out of this trade with 10%, 12% tax, 12% profit before the market actually closed. That was just a banger trade. That was just a banger, right? So just being able to take full advantage of that, that was an opportunity for us to take it. That was a 12% trade in less than 6 minutes, pretty much less than 3 minutes, because it completely accelerated here at 255. So pretty much a 2-minute trade. We got 10%. So that was just an opportunity us to take full advantage of it. All right. You guys got opportunity to drop some tickers. I'm gonna do 2 tickers. Anybody drop tickers in the comment, I'm gonna do 2 tickers. We're gonna use the 90-minute orb, and then we're gonna use the wrinkle and see how the trade actually panned out for it. So drop it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Drop the chat in there. Drop the 2 tickers that you guys want. The first 2 people to drop a ticker, or first person to drop 2 tickers, we'll take full advantage of the ticker. All right, time is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Just looking at the market today, we just a brilliant market. It was an opportunity for us to take full advantage of what was in front of us. And the opportunity did present itself, right? We just kept it simple, we kept it basic, and then we was able to let the market continue to keep on bouncing. All right. So BAC, we did attack BAC today. All right. So BAC, I gave BAC $55 calls from last week. I gave you guys that an opportunity. We did have some earnings, and we did hit 55.40. So that was just fire earnings, right? So looking at BAC on a weekly time frame, we'll go through some structure as well while we're here. So BAC was making lower highs. So pretty much we did bounce in 2005 and $31. We went all up to $57.55, and we did a nice little pullback. But looking at the market on BAC, we had a 2-2 continuation to the downside. We had a 2-1-2. So it was a sell. In fact, that means that the bears came in, the institutions came in, smart money, and pushed it down. And then we did have a downtrend reversal, right? So we're pretty much looking at the pivot. Downtrend reversal, pretty much 48 once we came above that. So pretty much entry was 48.15, 48.13. First target is 49.19. Next target is 50.29. And then pretty much looking at my 50% here is 51. And then looking at the top of this candle is 53. And then I actually want to cover this candle here. So 54.37. And I think we can move back to 56.52. So we pretty much got a downtrend reversal. Is really, really bullish on the weekly time frame. As you switch to the daily time frame, we're pretty much looking like we want to come up here and cover these targets. We pretty much got up. We did reject today's high. We did pull all the way back down to 53.71. I got us into the $54 puts. We made money. Then I got us back into the $65 calls, and we made money to the upside as well. So earnings report was the catalyst, and catalyst look good. Now, they do have an ATR of $1.28. So we split that in half, ladies and gentlemen. $1 is 50 cents, so 28 cents. So pretty much you get 14 cents. So we pretty much get 64 cents. So we'll change this to a 30-cent candle. All right. So we're gonna change to a 30-cent candle off the weekly time frame. Well, I want to be able to get into this trade. We're gonna change these candlesticks around from our entry. This is our entry. We're gonna mark it. All right. So call entry. All right. So we're gonna mark it. We're gonna change our candlesticks. All right. We're gonna change it to 30 cent. All right, we're gonna see when we should get out of this trade once we get into entry. Any exit on this trade? Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen. Put it in the chat. Did we get any exit on BAC from the bottom for my entry? Yes or no? Even with the pullbacks over the days, we never got a counter that completely reversed on us. Any reversal? Any reversal on BAC, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know. Let me know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Any reversals on BAC? This is just a power move to the upside. So a complete push to the upside. So these are the tickets we want to trade. So we try to put BAC in tier 3. BAT is in tier 3, so these are pretty much like those Marlins. Pretty much from the bottom of 46, we completely rose all the way up, pretty much almost $20 from the bottom. Now, if we're looking to trade that today, it looks a little bit different on a 90-minute time frame. When we got the 8:30, so pretty much we had a high, we had a low. So 8:30 wouldn't work today, but if we switch to the 15-minute orb pre-market, we probably had an opportunity to trade this, right? So looking at the 15-minute orb, pretty much here. 9:15, we marked the high, we did mark the low, we did come down, we flushed. Now, I'll show you guys how to actually trade this between the markets. So looking at the market, we did have a downtrend reverse. We did go inside, so 54.21. We could have took the 55 and went to 54.62. So that was an opportunity to actually trade that off that, right? So BAC, a lot of choppiness towards the end of the day, but on the weekly time frame, it's brilliant. It looks beautiful. We do have a wick at the top. See if we can come up in here resistance, take out 57.55 pretty much on a 6-month time frame. That's our all-time high, right? So the opportunity does present itself. Is do we want to take full advantage of those opportunities? All right. So as promised, one more ticker from anybody that's in the chat. Drop a world emoji. As you guys drop that last ticker, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna look at QS. I gave out $7 calls on QS. So let's get it. Quantum Escape. Let's go. All right. Monthly time frame, we got 223. Remember I told you guys what threes are. They're outside count. They can be bullish or bearish. So I explain that to explain it to you guys right now. A bullish tree take out the low of the previous candle, and then it takes out the high. Right, so it takes out the low, take out the high, right? So pretty much on a monthly time frame, we got a 223 is a bullish. We went down, we hit 595, and then pretty much we reversed on a weekly time frame. We pretty much got a little bit of consolidation, but it's a bullish consolidation. So we pretty much went 2 up here. So we need to break outside of this resistance zone. Once we break outside of the resistance zone, we can continue to keep on firing on all cylinders and taking our levels to the upside. So let's see how this actually start rocking and rolling on the daily. On the daily time frame, we went 2 up, so now we got a 2-2 continuation. And this is why I gave you guys an opportunity to trade it. But looking at it on a 6-hour time frame, it makes more sense to us. We pretty much got a 2-2-1-2. So we got 2-2-2-1-2, 2-2 continuation to the upside. Now, 15-minute time frame, 90-minute orb makes sense on here. Let's talk about the 90-minute orb. How we can actually utilize a 90-minute orb. This is 8:30. We pretty much went above 721. Today we went up here at 723. Once we came above, we completely accelerated. And then after the bill, we are going up as well. But I want you guys to understand on the 15-minute time frame, you could have traded this today. It was pretty brilliant for us to trade this from this morning. So pretty much we had a 2-2 continuation to the downside. We had a downtrend reversal, 2-2 bullish reversal. We went inside. Once we came above this 2, which was the directional and the inside candle, 704, $7 calls, we completely exploded to the upside. So you had an opportunity to trade this. So, ladies and gentlemen, final call for last ticker, final call for last ticker, ladies and gentlemen, final call for last ticker. And drop world emoji if you guys enjoyed the content. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, one of these days, I'm gonna go live for a couple of hours, teach some content to everybody, do some live trade, and just say thank you to you, ladies and gentlemen, for blessing my page with 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys share my YouTube with family, friends, and loved ones. And make sure you guys continue to keep on building. I love it. I want you guys to continue to keep on being genuine. Now, I will give out plays that I'm looking at for tomorrow. I'm just looking on the 6-hour time frame. I'm just looking at Alibaba. I will tell you guys this. Since April the 7th, we did bounce off for 117, and we pretty much hit 133 today. I still think we come up here and knock out 135.69 and go back to 142. So that's what I'm gonna be having my eyes on moving forward. So I will be giving out some trade ideas on Alibaba. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be sending it out to the group. So thank you guys for tuning in. Respect you guys. Continue to keep on building. If you guys not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys turn on notification and continue to keep on building and growing. This is your coach on Empowerment Assets. Let's build. Let's continue to keep on being great. I'm out.